Today's class will begin seated at the center of the mat. And as we draw our awareness to the second chakra, first chakra is down at the base of the spine. Today, we're going to be focusing on the next one up that chain of energy centers in the body. So svadhisthana is the second chakra, just between the belly button and that lower chakra deep in the pelvis. And svadhisthana means one's own place. So we're going to begin sitting up tall and begin to sense and get a feel for this energy center. I'm just going to take the most subtle little movements of circling the lower body around the base of the spine. So you're just barely moving in circles, kind of tilting the hips in a circular motion one direction. Just the lower part of the spine, slowly getting bigger with those circles. I'm sensing a little bit of pressing in and up with the lower belly. And slowly making those circles a little bigger until maybe the torso begins to create some circles as well. But you're moving from that center point. Slow down your circles until you begin to make subtle movements again, barely moving and gently stopping. And then we'll go the opposite direction. Circling from deep in the pelvis, almost like a little left and right belly dance. Slowly increasing your circles as if you're rotating around your spine, circling that energy. Maybe imagining as you do a spinning orange wheel of light right around the sacral area. Slowly your circles getting a little wider and a little wider. Maybe the torso starts to get in on the movement. And slowing that circle down, back focused around the subtle energy line of the spine until you're barely moving. Coming back to center, finding stillness, lowering the gaze. Take a deep breath in and open mouth, exhale. With your hands on your knees, begin to take some seated cat and cows. Inhaling, pulling the heart through, arching the back, looking up. Exhaling, curling the spine, holding onto your knees, pressing the back of the heart space towards the back of the room. Inhaling, lifting and opening. Exhaling, curling in, tucking in. Continuing with your own breath movement. Trying to begin each motion with that sacral area. Hugging the low belly in towards the spine. And just a few more rounds of seated cat and cow. On your next inhale, coming back to neutral spine. Sitting up as tall and relaxed as you can, lowering the gaze or closing the eyes. Introduce you to our mantra for class. And this is a quote by Julia Cameron, who's an author of The Artist's Way, a book on finding and unblocking the creativity within all of us. Our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move towards our divinity. And I've been really focusing on this quotation personally in recent times. I found a natural connection to the sense of creativity leading to divinity and vice versa. And that relates into our second chakras. It is the energy center of finding our own way, our creativity, bringing things into the world, finding pleasure and joy in life, and going with the flow of life. So I'll read that quote again. Our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move toward our divinity. Take a full inhale and exhale, cleansing breath out. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together at the top and exhale down through heart center, allowing the palms to rest in prayer, the center of the chest. Breathing in one final inhale here in our seated posture. And exhale, releasing the hands, making our way gently to our backs. Keeping the knees bent and walking the heels in. Draw the knees towards your chest. Bring your hands to the tops of the knees and begin to take some gentle circles with the knees one direction for a few rounds, massaging out the low back. And then switching directions the other way. And throughout these guided movements, see where you can engage your own creativity, your own need to flow and move in a way that is enjoyable for your body and is what you need right here, right now. Bring those knees back to center, hug them in tight, and lower the feet to the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. We're going to take supine figure 4, but we're going to lift that left leg up and straighten that left leg towards the sky. If this is uncomfortable or you need a little bit more support, you can do this against the wall. So just scooting the back of your leg, your hips up against the wall, and letting the left leg be raised against the wall with the right leg crossed, the right ankle crossed over the left knee. You can also reach and hold on to that left leg if that feels better for you as well. I think I'm going to do that. You can tuck your chin here, lengthen the spine, inhale and exhale. And I invite you to consider if, as we explore this concept of the second chakra of creativity and movement and flow, if maybe this is a chakra that is blocked for you, or maybe if it's a little blown out. So if you're deficient in this chakra, you might feel rigid and stiff, dry, or numb. And for those of us who are maybe kind of blown out this chakra, it's a little excessive, a little much, you'll feel more sloppy and indulgent and really loose and uncontained. I'm going to go ahead and switch legs. So gently lower that left leg to the mat. Extend the right leg long, and then lower that right foot to the mat. Left heel crosses over the right knee, and then you lift that right leg up, either up against the wall or up in space. If you'd like, you can clasp behind the left leg, the right leg, excuse me. Again, lengthening the spine on the mat, tucking the chin, just hanging out here, breathing. So throughout the postures in this class, I'll offer a variation to bring a little movement to the posture or to find stillness. So if you feel like you need a little help bringing some movement and acceptance of change into your life, going with the flow, not being so stiff and rigid, I invite you to take the variations where you bring a little bit of movement. If you feel kind of all over the place and maybe indulging too much, Feeling a little unregulated, unchecked. And then I invite you to contain the movements and find the practice in the stillness of each posture. On your exhale, lower that right heel to bending into the knee. Release that right leg to the mat. Uncross the left ankle, lengthening the left leg up towards the sky and then lowering it back down. Take a few windshield wipers, lowering the knees to one side and then the other. Re-engaging the sacral center. Enjoying the twists from left to right. Taking your time. And lower both knees to one side. We'll take a twist here. Extend the opposite arm and look over the opposite shoulder. So knees are facing one direction. Your gaze is over the other way. Allowing yourself to melt into the twist here. Relaxing the shoulders. Softening the face. Just focusing on the breath. Take another round of slow, deep inhale and exhale. Bring the gaze back to the ceiling, lift the knees back to center. Readjust your hips, aligned with the spine. And then lower the knees the opposite direction, extend the opposite arm out the other way. So if your knees are to your right, your left arm is extended and your gaze is over that left shoulder. Allow yourself to melt into the twist here. Sending the breath deep into the body. Maybe finding that spinning center of orange energy in our second chakra. Final inhale and exhale. Lift the gaze to the ceiling, lift the knees, back upright. Realign the spine, reach the arms up overhead, lengthen the legs on the mat, point the toes, make yourself really tall and long. Full inhale and exhale. Roll to one side. And gently make your way to child's pose. And for this child's pose, we're going to bring our big toes to touch, widen the knees a little bit, and we're going to bring our arms underneath us, between the legs. Maybe the tops of the palms rest on the bottom of the feet. Forehead melts to the earth. As you tuck into yourself here, continue to bring your awareness to the breath. Find some rest. One more inhale. Cleansing breath out. Slowly begin to sit back up. And keeping your knees where they're at, walk the hands forward, big toes still touching. You're going to lift the toes so you're balancing on your knees. And you're going to lower your hips down towards the mat as you pull your heart through center, hanging cobra. You can stay here for a few rounds of breath, or you can immediately exhale or inhale back to your wide-legged child's pose, maybe widening the knees a little bit more. Exhale here. Inhale, lifting back up to your hanging cobra. Pulling the heart through. Exhaling back to your child's pose. So really using this flow, this movement. Or if you're working on containing movement, maybe you stay in each posture for at least 3 breaths. your choice, depending on what you feel you need for your body, your life. Just gently moving back and forth in your own rhythm. Just a few more rounds. Moving slowly with full. And on your next exhale, we'll meet back in our wide-legged child's pose. Inhale, lift the gaze, walk the hands back. Sitting back on your heels, make our way to deer pose, bringing the right leg out in front of you, parallel to the top of the mat, and the left leg next to you, and knee bent. Bring your arms wide, fingertips on the mat next to you. Relax the shoulders down the back, lift up through the spine, inhale. Exhale, begin to bring the heart forward, widening the fingertips as you lower over that right leg. And breathing in wherever you find the sensations, getting into our hips here, which are affiliated with the second chakra area. Relaxing the jaw, noticing if you're holding tension anywhere. Allow the breath to bring some ease. If you'd like to bring some movement to this posture, you can find some cat and cow breath. Inhaling, tensing up the fingertips, lifting the heart. Exhaling, curling the spine. Tilting the pelvis with you as you inhale and exhale. If you know that you're working on bringing your second chakra area into balance because you have a little bit too much going on, then I invite you to find some stillness in the posture. When we find balance in the second chakra in our svadhisthana center, we'll feel more joyful in life. We'll have more graceful movements. We'll feel full but contained. And we'll be at peace with the changes and the ebbs and flows of life. And gently bring yourself back upright. Just kind of relax onto the right hand. Gently swing that left leg around, taking Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose. Bring your hands to your ankles or your shins. Lengthening up through the spine. Take a big breath in. And exhale, fold forward. Clasping your toes with your hands, maybe wiggling your elbows down in front of your shins if you get down that far. You can also stay lifted here. Be gentle with yourself. We're not forcing, just exploring our body's possibilities and limitations. Inhale, lift the heart, open the chest as you breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. Let the head hang heavy. We'll be really passive here, inviting openness in the groin, letting the neck unravel as the head hangs heavy towards the feet. And to sit up, we're going to curl the spine. So tuck the tailbone, press the low belly in towards the spine. As you begin to sit up, head and neck are the last to arise. Big inhale at the top, exhale, let it go. Keeping the left leg as it is. Just going to tilt over to the left and bring that right leg next to you, knee bent. Left leg is going to come parallel to the top of the mat for deer pose on the other side. Fingertips down to the mat, shoulders relaxed. Lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, bringing the heart forward first. The fingertips follow. Not going all the way down, keeping some openness in the heart. Again, if you need to add a little movement, feel free. If you're working on containing, and find some stillness, maybe a spot on the floor to stare at, your focal point, your drishti. And let the subtle body do the work of opening up through the hips. Maybe the inner right leg, you feel it. Finding your edge. And just letting the breath dance there. Just a few more full deep breaths here. Inhale, lift the gaze. Walk the fingertips back as you begin to sit up. Bring the soles of the feet together again for another bound angle pose. Inhale, lengthen up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, curling into the spine like cat pose. Inhale, sitting back up. Bring your hands to the outside of the knees. Close the knees together like a book. And then prop yourself up with them behind. Take a few windshield wipers, gentle twists, left and right with the knees. Looking over the opposite shoulder as the knees reach the earth. And then on your next time, you lower your knees down. We're going to make our way to downward facing dog. And taking your time and lifting from that sacral center. So tucking the toes, hugging the belly in, finding that source to lift yourself up from the low belly, deep, focusing the breath on that area as you find your downward dog. Again, noticing if you tend to immediately go to pedaling out your feet or finding lifting up from the hips, relaxing the head of the neck, engaging the awareness in the breath into our center of creativity, which leads us to the divine. It's comforting to know that our nature to want to do things uniquely to make sense of the world in the many different ways that all of us do, that is coming from source, from God. It's a representation of the creator, whatever that means to you. It's a representation of that in us. And one more breath here in downward dog. Exhale out. Look between your hands, step the right, drop the hips, reach the arms up overhead. Breathing here. Inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, lifting up with the pelvis. So we're engaging everything. We're tall here, not dumping the hips down, squaring the hips. Exhale to reverse lunge or half splits, lifting the right toes, lengthening through that right leg. Breathing here. Inhaling, shifting the weight forward, lowering that right foot, dropping the left front part of the leg as we drop our hips into our deep low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, shifts back, reverse lunge, right toes lift, hands reach the mat. Keep straight here. We're going to continue with this movement in our breath. Inhaling forward to deep low lunge, crescent lunge. Exhaling slowly with control to our reverse lunge. Squaring the hips, pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. Continue with your own breath movements. Maybe you add a little bit of your own take to this posture. Tune in the center of your own place, your own practice. your own movements. Take one final round of our lunge series. Bring the hands to the inside of the right leg for lizard pose. You can heel toe to the edge of the mat. If you'd like to make this a little bit more active, you can lift that left knee. Draw that. Scrub the left leg forward, keeping your toe on the mat, but using the power of the muscles to pull that left leg forward, squaring the hips. Hands, forearms on the mat. Maybe use a block here. If you find, again, that you're a little stiff, always doing the posture in this way, maybe you want to begin to lower that right knee away from the right arm, dropping the hips down. That can feel really good on the outer right hip. But maybe that's too much for you, depending on where you're at in your balance. So maybe you want to work on that containment and keeping everything lined up with the right elbow, pressing into the right leg, left hip pulling forward, right hip sending back. Maybe do a little of both. Let's take 2 more breaths here in lizard. And then if you're not already there, tucking the back toe, lifting the left knee off the mat, walk the hands over the long edge of the mat until you find a wide-legged forward fold. Take a pause for just a breath. And then keep walking the hands all the way to the back of the mat until you find lizard pose with the left foot. So our hands are on the inside of the left foot. Left knee is bent against the left tricep. If you kept the knee lifted, repeat on the other side or lower it down. Acknowledging that this side may be a little bit different. So maybe you're able to lower down a little bit more on this side. Maybe this is your tighter side and you need help keeping your back straight and you use a block or you tense your fingertips up here. Again, taking notice if you need to work on the integrity of the posture, the alignment of the posture. Or if you usually get too caught up in alignment and doing things, quote unquote, the right way, maybe then you begin to lower that left knee, allow the hips to drop, and just flow a little bit more. Be a little bit more liquid, fluid in your movements and your attitudes. Wherever you're at, breathe. Notice if you're holding tension in your jaw, anywhere else in the body. Just a few more rounds of breath here. On your inhale, lift the gaze, heel toe that left foot in between the hands until you find a lunge. Drop the hips, reach the arms up overhead, finding that deep crescent lunge. Exhale, slowly shift the hips back, lift the left toes, hands meet the mat. Long through the left leg for our reverse lunge. Pulling that left hip back, wheeling that right hip forward. Inhale, plant the foot. Bring the hips forward, the arms up, the heart open, your deep crescent lunge. Exhale back to our reverse lunge. Settling down fully on the exhale, letting your inhale bring you back forward, open up. Exhaling back and just continue these movements with your own breath rhythm. Again, maybe taking a few rounds of breath in each posture. Maybe speeding up a little bit to bring a little bit more movement and fire. if that's what you need today. Take a couple more rounds of deep low lunge to reverse lunge or half splits. After your next reverse lunge, lean back to low runner's lunge, hands on either side of the left foot. Tuck the back toes, lifting the back knee, and step back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Drawing your awareness and your breath into that sacral center. Full breath in, open mouth exhale. Look between your hands, tiptoe towards the top of the mat. Find a forward fold. And bring your hands to your hips. Hug the elbows in towards each other. Let your head hang a little more. Press the heels into the mat. And inhale, lift up halfway. Hands are still on our hips. And then send the arms back like airplane arms, almost like a T shape here. Drop the hips. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway, straight spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to tabletop. Walk the knees forward. Lower your hips to the center of the mat. Come to boat pose. Balancing on the tailbone of the sitting bones. Tilting back, grabbing behind the knees. Lengthen through the spine. So you don't want your heart to be curled forward, your shoulders curled forward. Shrug the shoulders back. Lift up out of the low back. Power up by imagining that spinning orange circle holding you up, drawing that energy inward. Maybe you begin to lengthen and straighten your legs. Maybe you let go of your legs and bring the palms forward. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're here with your toes touching the mat or your hands supporting your low back. Same shape, just different look. Be creative with it. Find your own place in this posture. We've got 3 more rounds of breath. And being gentle, maybe you're not feeling like powering up boat today. Maybe you're just out for a leisurely little cruise on the lake. Take care of yourself. On your exhale, lower your feet to the mat. Extend the legs long for a forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, hinging at the hips. Reach the heart forward, belly over the thighs. Reaching for your feet, going however far your hands land. No shame in your forward fold game. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release slowly. Now curling the spine, letting the head hang heavy, just melting forward over those legs. Give in to yourself, to gravity. Exhale it out. Three more rounds of breath here. After your third exhale, I'm gonna hug that low belly in. So squeezing that sacral center, squeezing into that second chakra. Roll the spine up to sit. Long spine, relax shoulders. Exhale. Bring the soles of the feet inward, or just finding a comfortable seat. Anyway, that feels good. We'll take a few seated twists before closing out. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Any comfortable seat will do. Arms up. Exhale, twist towards the right. So keep your hip points and your knees facing the front, just twisting from the center of the body towards the right. Maybe your right fingertips come back behind you at your tailbone prop yourself up. Maybe your left hand holds on to that right knee. Think length on your inhale. And let the exhale gently twist. Maybe your gaze comes back over the right shoulder. Soft, deep breaths here. On your next inhale, come back to center, arms up overhead. And exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale to straighten through the spine. Exhale to maybe twist a little bit more. Using your hands for support, not direction. Letting the twist come from within. Let it gently unfold. Or maybe if we're twisting, we're folding. Whatever imagery makes better sense to you. Breathe in and breathe out. Final round of breath in our twist. Inhale to center with the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach the arms up one last time. And exhale, lower them down to the side. We're going to make our way to our backs, bringing the soles of the feet together. We're going to take reclined butterfly. So allowing the knees to open, soles of the feet together. Let's bring our hands to that second chakra region. So between the belly button and the pubic bone. Of course, it's deeper in towards our center, but allowing our hands to rest there. Finding our breath. Maybe bringing the heels either closer in or further away. Finding a relaxing but engaging angle with the knees. Allowing us to relax, allowing the subtle body to relieve tension from within. Find another deep inhale and cleansing breath out. Feel the warmth of your hands against the low belly. Calming yourself, welcoming yourself to your own place. Svadhisthana. Continue to breathe deeply here. Welcome to close your practice in this posture. Or gently release the hands to the earth and extend the legs long. The more traditional Shavasana. Whichever shape you choose. Let your next exhale release awareness of the space around you. Release attachments to the thoughts running through the head. Release the breath awareness and just allow your body to take over naturally. Feel yourself sinking into the mat. Calmly returning to your own inner peace. Allow yourself this rest as much as you need. Spend however long you need resting in Shavasana, whether that's a few more seconds or allowing yourself to drift off into a little nap. The divine source of creativity in me honors and recognizes that divine source of creativity within you. Happy practicing.